Now more than ever, parents and caregivers need access to tools and resources that reduce trauma and encourage resiliency. For your Mind Matters coverage, we want to highlight an event where parents and caregivers can share their daily challenges, learn ways to practice self-care, and explore how best to support the development of their children. Carla Burgos is here to talk about the importance of this event and how we can all benefit from it. Well, thank you so much for being here, Carla. Let's go ahead and talk about ACEs. For those in our audience who do not know what ACEs stand for, go ahead and tell us what that means.
ACEs is an acronym for Adverse Childhood Experiences. And when we talk about ACEs, we're talking about trauma. Trauma that leads to toxic stress. When children are exposed to long-term toxic stress, it can impact their brain, the way their brains develop, also the way they learn, the way they engage with others socially. So also, adverse childhood experiences can impact young children into adulthood. So we see these things, and it doesn't mean that everyone who's experienced trauma will have these ACEs outcomes. But some of those ACEs outcomes could be diabetes, obesity, COPD. Those are things that when they're experiencing this trauma, it impacts their brain, it impacts the entire body. There's a wealth of knowledge that's out right now from research and studies that are indicating how the body is keeping the score and storing this trauma from adverse childhood experiences. So what we want to do in the community is to create resilient communities. And the first way to do that is that we all need to speak a common language. We all need to be aware of what is ACEs, what is trauma, how does it impact the brain, and the family unit in general. A lot of our work has been done in training professionals in ACEs. Now the work is leading us to train parents in ACEs. So this is an opportunity on Saturday to come out for our event, which we're calling it Bouncing Back. We want parents and caregivers to have access to tools and resources that will first identify what is toxic stress, because we're all dealing with toxic stress every day.
That's right.
We all experience it. And so when parents are experiencing toxic stress, it impacts the family, right? If you're a caregiver, however you're feeling, the children are eventually going to respond to that in some type of behavior. So with this Building Resilience Bouncing Back initiative, we want parents to come out. We have tools, resources. We have, in the state of Louisiana, we have what's called ACEs educators. And there are cohorts of those educators.
Carla, why is it important to know about how our trauma that maybe we have experienced growing up affect how we parent our own children? Why is it important that we acknowledge that about ourselves?
Well, because we want to be proactive in the way we engage with our children, because sometimes we have what's called generational cycles of trauma. And the generational trauma or cycles of it could lead to abuse or neglect, right? So we want to have antidotes to that. So as a parent, we need to, or a caregiver, you don't have to be a parent, you just simply could be a person caring for children. You want to acknowledge how you're feeling, right? And so you want to be able to have a range of emotions. That's another thing we'll be doing, is talking about social emotional learning at this event. But you want to have a range of emotions other than anger, other than sadness, so that you can verbalize those. You want to be in tune with how you feel so that you can practice self-regulation. So if you're practicing self-regulations, you're better able to help children co-regulate. I can recall raising children, which my children are all adults now. But early on, I had to put some things in place because I had two older kids who were they're called Irish twins, and then I actually had a set of twins after that.
So you were busy.
Busy. They would come home, right, Priscilla, and everybody's bombarding me with their whole day. So after some point, I'm overwhelmed with all of this. I would say, give mommy 5 minutes. I'm gonna go to the bathroom. Nobody does anything but eat these snacks. Give me 5 minutes, and I would set a timer. That would help me decompress, right? Get settled in. Because they had a wonderful day at school and they just want to share it, right? But
They're
sometimes
excited.
we get overwhelmed. So that's a technique that I put in place years ago so that I could focus on them. And that's what we want to do. We want to teach parents about our own behavior and what we're feeling. And we may have to step away from things. And when our children see us model that type of behavior, they're more apt to model that behavior and getting themselves calmed down.
Well, Carla, we are already out of time at this moment. So let's go ahead and talk about really quick. Tell us a little bit more about the event, where we need to be at, how people can register. I know this is happening tomorrow, and you are actually having 2 other sessions after tomorrow if people don't make this event, so we can follow back up. But for tomorrow, what do they need to do in order to attend? Real quick, Carla.
They have to be at Mamie Hicks Park at the SPAR for 10 a.m. Now you can pre-register by going to cfnla.org. At our website there, go under Step Forward, and you'll see where you can register for that event. Just show up. If you're a parent or a caregiver, bring the children, and it's family friendly, and we just want to have a laid back environment where we can build some skills, some resiliency skills.
Yeah, and it's free too, right,
It's free.
Carla? Okay.
There are incentives, we have a catered lunch, so we're ready.
Most
We're
important,
really
though, we're
excited.
talking about the knowledge, we're talking about ACEs, we're talking
Absolutely.
about how we can be stronger as a community, you know, and how we can, you know, learn about our own trauma and how that might affect others and build those stronger relationships, just like you're talking about.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Carla, for being
Thank you
here
for
today
having
and for
us.
talking to us about this today.
Thank you for having